Rise and shine, it's time for D is for drama. The place you go to fill your little teacups with the scalding hot goss. I'm your host, Shannon D. We'll dive into juicy disputes, everyday disagreements, and petty drama that makes life, let's be real, way more entertaining. Whether it's over who left the toilet seat up or your mother-in-law wearing white to your wedding, we're here to dissect it all. I'm a Jersey girl turned LA dreamer, actress, writer, and lover of drama. As long as I'm not involved. After 2 years in the podcast game, I'm finally launching my own show, honey. Whether you're here for the laughs, the advice, or just to bask in the chaos, I've got you covered. So grab your cup, buckle up, and let's dive in. Because we're about to spill the tea, clean up some messes, and maybe make you feel better about your own life. Please enjoy the first episode of D is for Drama.
Is now.
Daddy's home.
Daddy's home. It's a daddy's home. If you want a father figure, daddy's home. He loves your mother, but she's better on her own.
All right, fellas, it's Mama's turn. Mommy's home.
Today, I am joined by two former roommates who couldn't be more different in demeanor. One is a bull in a china shop, while the other hasn't exclaimed since she came out of her mother's crotch. Please welcome Horace Gold and Parallel Parking Maddy.
Please don't talk about my mother's crotch on this podcast.
It's an exclaimed sentence.
Well, when we were doing the testing for the mics earlier, we were like, okay, like laugh loudly or like say something loud, and your voice is just goes about
And
this
then she just
high.
starts singing Lana Del Rey and goes, feet don't fail me now.
Well, I also sang shout.
But wasn't shouting, just sang shout.
Just saying shout.
Play it back.
She doesn't exclaim
She
very
doesn't
much.
exclaim, you nailed that.
To give a little backstory of who these little rascals are, Maddie and I grew up together since we were 4 in Merchantville, New Jersey. I was already living in LA for about 2 years before she joined me, and we moved in together. So we are actually former roommates a few times over because we were also roommates in Wildwood, New Jersey at the shore. But during that time in LA, Maddie worked at a restaurant where she met Horace Gold. And when I moved in with my boyfriend, Max, Horace took my bedroom and then lived with Maddie for a year.
All of your bedding.
He took everything. We still have the coffee table here.
Oh, is that? It's still the coffee table.
Which I trash picked.
Did you really?
Yes.
It's great.
And I put it on top of my car.
It's a great.
It's gone a long way.
But anyway, Horace and I were never roommates. I don't think that would really work out.
No, we would have died.
Because I do think that sometimes opposites attract in that way, and having two different kinds of demeanors, as we were saying, might work.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Well. Let's get into it. So this segment is, there's two sides to every pancake. And today, I am lucky enough to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Horace and Maddie are going to share their sides of their disagreement while being roommates. And Horace, you are first up in the hot seat, baby.
Daddy's home, Daddy's home.
All right, Maddie, if you'll excuse yourself, please.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you.
Go to the foyer.
Horace Gold,
Hi, Shannon D.
get comfortable.
Thank you. This is my home.
And we're recording
You're
in
literally in my
Horace's.
house.
All right, so what first attracted you to Maddie as a friend when you were working together?
The first sentence I ever said to Maddie when we hung out after work. First, I was like, "Oh, she's so pretty. Let's hang out."
Of course.
And that's like usually my rubric of making friends. It's like, "Are you pretty?"
Oh,
And then
really?
100%.
I've actually recently, 2 gay men were telling me that gay men are also like wanting female friends that are pretty as well. And I'm like, damn, we really can't win, can we?
All of my friends, male or female, gay or straight, are all hot.
Really?
I don't have ugly friends. That's a separate topic. So
Yeah, we'll get into that at another
so
time.
the first day we ever hung out, Maddie and I are smoking weed in Ventana, our old apartment. If you hear us call it Ventana, that is what the apartment was. And so we were in Ventana and we're high, and I look at her and I go, "Are you a witch?" And she goes, "Maybe." And so from then on, we just like vibed out, and she showed me that she could play Real Love by Mary J. Blige on the piano.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
She can play piano?
She knows how to play the dun 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 dun. So it was kind of a perfect opportunity for us to move in together, because I had really bad roommates up until that point,
Okay.
being back in LA. And I hadn't lived with a woman again yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really needed like soft energy, because I was going through like really rough like boy energy, and I just like was feeling very abandoned and very like lost. And Maddie and Shannon, I'll say it to a third party, they were my first real friends that I think I made since moving back to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I was like, whatever I can do to like be in this world, I will do, because like I needed.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But it's true, I had really shitty friends at the time. I was 21, and was like so lost.
What was the biggest issue for you and Miss Maddie?
I think the biggest issue with Maddie and I living together was just that we are both really severe representation of our astrological signs.
Okay.
And those signs manifest in the morning the most.
Okay.
Where I am a like fiery person in the morning. I'm like, get up, let's do it, let's go. And Maddie's a water sign. So she needs her peace. She's a Libra.
She is the definition.
She's a Libra's Libra. So
she's double Libra.
She needs her quiet. She needs her peace. She needs her like morning meditation. Whereas I'm like Carpe, that motherfucking DM. Like, let's go. There's time. And so like for me, there was an issue where we were living together. There was a morning where I was like rehearsing, like singing before work. And it was Maddie knocking on the door. It's like, hey, like it's 7 a.m. Like I'm about to go to work. Like, can you politely shut the fuck up?
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting because that was like a slight experience that we had where I was at the time 22, 23, really not prioritizing music, coming to terms with if I even wanted to do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were times where I was like not practicing, and then I was just like singing really hard, and it just like wasn't healthy. I wasn't being a very healthy singer because I didn't know if I wanted to be a singer at all. And so Maddie would come to me and be like, well, like I don't ever hear you like fucking warming up, like blah, 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 like really giving me like tough love.
Yeah.
And I was like, great, yeah, you're right, I should be warming up. And then I'll warm up, and she'd be like, well, you're making too much noise.
Oh,
I was like, well, you gotta pick one.
Which one do you want?
What do you want from me?
One or the other.
One or the other.
And I'm sorry, is there a time frame that I need to do this for your liking?
And that was real frustrating because I didn't have anywhere else to go. Because I was like, this is also my home.
Wow.
And so, you know, I, like other people, let it fester, never said anything.
What was the solution then? Would there be like you guys chose a time frame that you could do it in then?
I definitely also learned that I didn't need to be singing at fucking 7 a.m. before going to work.
That is pretty early.
Wasn't healthy for me as a singer. It wasn't like
for your voice.
Yeah, I just like didn't need to be doing that
because it kind of hurts the vocal.
Yeah, like I needed to like wake up and exercise and like drink water and yada yada. So it did end up resolving itself, but I was mostly struck by the hypocrisy of it all. But we both are actually not very non-confrontational with each other.
Yeah,
so we never talked about it.
Never talked about it at all until now, honey.
Until 10 years later.
So, okay, so she tells you, basically being like, it seems like you're not doing enough for your career.
Yeah.
Did you ask her this at all, or did she just like
I don't remember,
give you unsolicited advice?
I don't know if it was unsolicited as if it was more of like an open door policy at the time.
To just be able to,
where we were both
like, were you complaining?
Yeah. And I think also we both had so much access to each other's careers and to each other's art at the time, because we were like 100 feet from each other, if that, really.
Yeah, not even 20
just
feet.
20 feet, like ingratiated into each other's work. We're both just in it with each other, brainstorming, taking over the world. Like we're really collective partners, you know? So like, it wasn't that it was like necessarily a boundary crossing of her bringing it up to me, but it was more so like, well, damn girl, which one is it?
Now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And what's the issue here? So after she said 7, not 7 o'clock in the morning, which is fair.
Which is fair.
What did you say? No problem.
I think I just complained to you. And I didn't actually because I was like, she's not wrong. Like, I'm not going to bring this up and be like, whoa. But I was like, I'm annoyed. Like, you're a hypocrite.
Did you then only do it during the day, or was there a cutoff time and
I would sort of do it. I would notice.
Curfew?
Yeah, I think I subconsciously made a change to where I would sing when no one was home. And I would also give a warning.
Oh, okay.
Then I would be like, hey, I'm going to go sing.
Yes.
I'm going to let you know now I'm going to go.
That's a good
do
solution.
This thing. And so you're not caught off guard by it. But I will also say, and this is also lukewarm tea because I really grew and changed a lot from us living together.
Well, that's for sure. He wanted to marry her at one point.
I did drunkenly want to marry Maddie. But I really appreciated a little bit of Libra energy in the morning after living with her. I grew a lot from, and so now I have very, very Libra energy in the morning.
Calmness.
Calm. I need it for as long as I can because once the train is running, I am a Sagittarius throughout the rest of the day.
A bull in a china shop, if you will.
I don't love that, to be honest. I'm very pragmatic and very organized.
Let me show you guys a picture of his apartment right now if you want.
I'm packing to go away for 2 weeks.
Click.
I'm literally leaving my home. No.
So you don't think that you're like a bull in a china shop a little bit? That you're not a whirlwind?
I'm an organized chaos, but no, I wouldn't say
You're not clumsy a little?
I'm not a bull in a china shop. You don't lose
things?
Not really. I lost my wallet in Philadelphia, and that was the first time I lost a wallet in 2.5 years.
All right, then give me a different thing that I can say.
I'm effervescent.
Okay, so he's effervescent, and she hasn't exclaimed since she come out of her mama's.
Yeah, but no, I'm not looking for the chaos.
The chaos just comes.
The way it just finds me. No, I'm a tadpole and a dishwasher.
Okay, we'll go with that then. You heard it here, folks.
And there's a difference. And there is a significant.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your side of the story.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else you need to?
No, let's hear from the hypocrite.
All right, let's hear from the hypocrite. Maddie, Parallel Parking Maddie, you're in the hot seat, baby. What first attracted you to Horace when you met?
Well, I gotta say, it was probably how exclamatory he is.
Oh, she needed a little more of that in her life.
I love exclamatory people.
Oh, just like me.
I am attracted to them because they have something that I don't.
See, opposites do attract.
They sure do.
Okay, well, let's hear it. What didn't work in your roommateship?
I would say that we are very compatible in very many ways. I think we're actually a very very smooth dynamic.
Okay.
In many, many ways.
Tell me.
I think we match each other's energies. I think we both have the ability to match energies of people.
Oh, of other people or of each other?
Of anyone.
Oh, anyone. Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you have any reservations when he wanted, or who brought up the idea of living together? Were you like, this bitch Shannon's leaving?
I think the stars aligned where he was trying to get out of his current living situation. I needed a roommate. We were fast friends. It just kind of all made sense at that moment in time. But as we all come to find, it is not easy living with close friends sometimes. Because you know each other so well, it's almost easier to have a roommate that you don't know or that you're not friends with, probably. Because you're just living in your own lane in your own lives.
And it's already set up as this is who we are to each other. We're roommates. And I remember my first roommate in LA as an adult. We had a great relationship because I'd come home and we'd chat and we'd catch up. But we never really hung out outside of the roommate world, outside of the apartment. And I felt very much there's not weird boundaries being crossed of are we friends? And it's oh my God, now I feel like I have to invite you out everywhere I go. It was just a very perfect amount of roommate/friendship where it wasn't this feeling of obligation to tell each other where we are, when we're going to be home or things like that. And then my next roommate, it was like really awkward because we started out as like friends, but we were new friends. And anyway, all that to say,
yeah, I think if you are spending all that time together on top of being roommates, then probably that's when the smaller things within the roommate situation become harder to look over them because you're with this person all the time.
Yes.
So everything's a little more
intense,
highlighted, maybe.
Yeah.
But I do remember one specific morning. First of all, this is my first apartment in LA. It was a beautiful apartment too.
It really was.
So
Pretty
much
big.
space.
And we had a view of the Hollywood sign.
We had a balcony, view of the Hollywood sign, hardwood floors throughout.
Fireplace.
We each had our own bathroom. I was so excited to like have my morning routine as like an adult in the new living situation. I did it. I moved across the country. I made it. Seized the day. Carpe diem. Like I'm going to do it exactly the way I want to do it. So imagine me on my yoga mat. Full headstand.
Oh, excuse me, Miss Braggadocious over here.
And I hear a knock on my door. And here comes my sweet roommate trying to show me something on Instagram.
Oh, not the devil Instagram.
I just remember being upside down in my headstand. And he's trying to scroll through his phone and show me something.
Holding it upside down.
I'm like, sir, I'm busy. And also, I'm trying to have like a non-screen time morning moment. And I think I might have flipped a little bit. I can't remember what I said. I think I said like, you're stressing me out, or like, you're bringing this energy to me that I don't want right now, or something like that. And to me, like, that's the one and only memory that stands out of like a moment where our morning routines were clashing.
Now, so what was his reaction though when you said that? Was he clearly?
I'm pretty sure he just backed away, closed the door, and understood.
Did you have to ever address it?
I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe he called you and talked to you about it.
I didn't hear about this at all. Although I do remember a time that I interrupted your Zen space as well when we were roommates.
Oh, tell me more.
So,
wait, did you fart on my bed?
No, I burped on your crystals.
That is a grave sin.
I came into your room to like tell you a story or something, and then I just burped really loud, and all your crystals were on your desk, and you go, "Don't burp on my crystals."
I stand by that. We know a lot more about particles now, post-COVID. They were probably freshly cleansed from the previous full moon.
I guess they were. And I literally just like walked out like mid-story. I was like, fuck this. I'm out of here.
Don't burp on a girl's crystals. I have very strict rules in my room.
She really does. It was a Zen space.
Okay, truly, it's like an energy thing. It's like a bubble of energy. And certain particles and certain Instagram posts are not allowed.
I guess not. All right. Well, I just interviewed Horace, and he said this.
There was a morning where I was like singing before work, and it was Maddie knocking on the door. It's like, hey, like, it's 7 a.m. Like, I'm about to go to work. Like, can you politely shut the fuck up? Well, like, I don't ever hear you, like, fucking warming up, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, really giving me, like, tough love. And I was like, great, yeah, you're right. I should be warming up. And then I'll warm up. And she'd be like, well, you're making too much noise. I was mostly struck by the hypocrisy of it all.
So what do you think about that?
I mean, hasn't anyone ever heard of quiet hours? Before 9 a.m., after 10 p.m.? And what's really ironic, we got kicked out of that apartment for noise.
That's so true. Yeah, your downstairs neighbor hated you guys.
The swamp monster.
She smelled so bad.
Ew.
Their apartment was its own ecosystem.
Now, did Horace ever say anything like this to you?
I don't believe the word hypocrite was ever thrown around.
I mean, what do you think about that? Those are fighting words.
Ugh, you know I'm not a fighter.
She's a lover. All right, well, let's bring Horace Gold back in and let's duke it out.
This is really giving Mari Povich.
Yeah, I did it.
And I don't care what my stupid mama said.
I'm not doing motherfucking again. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, you want to fight?
Daddy's
Well, the results
home.
are in, and you are not the father.
You are not daddy's home. Actually.
All right, so what do you guys have to say to each other?
Okay.
Hi, it's been so long.
I'm a big believer in like not living with friends.
I think that's a lesson that a lot of people learn the hard way.
And what's interesting about it is you and I both stayed living alone after that.
Because
We were so traumatized.
We were so
Yeah.
traumatized. We were
like,
like,
never again.
but it's like if you can't even live with like one of your like best friends. For me, I was like, I love her to death. This would be like the most perfect roommate if I wanted one at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, but I don't want a roommate. I don't want to like have to compromise on like how I start my mornings. Our friendship survived because we both, I think if either of us had gotten a roommate afterwards, it would have been like, oh, so it was like me. But I think because we
What
both.
do you mean?
I think you're right, actually. We need that. We both need that space.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
Like I think if she had gotten a roommate after we lived together,
okay.
I would have taken that really personally and been like, oh, she hates me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
Gotcha.
thought you meant like we each personally would have been like, oh, it's me. I need my space.
Which I think so as well.
Maybe too.
I think so as well.
Oh, being like, Horace was the problem, so I'm going to go find another roommate. And then you find another roommate and you're like, fuck, it's like the same shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone burping on my crystal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's also a like error of the youth to think that like you can do everything with your friends all the time and live with them and work with them and everything, and it's not gonna
Go wrong at
Yeah.
some point. You see friends during business hours when they're like on and dressed and like meditated and prayed and ready to go out into the world.
Yeah.
And then you have a roommate and you're like, oh, you're not like on
Yes.
right now.
You're your truest
Mhm.
self.
Right.
Mhm.
That like unrested version. And in a way, it actually revealed mine to me, which is why I'm grateful.
Mm.
Because I didn't realize that I was like a slow morning, like keep it quiet type of person until I was like, oh, this is actually like fucking awesome. I just was like living with boys.
So, Maddie, what do you feel about him like talking shit about you behind your back though, and calling up me and saying like, Maddie, she wants me to rehearse, but now then when I do, she's mad at me.
I mean, it is a conundrum. You know what? Everyone needs a safe space to vent. I mean, better out than in.
So you don't hold it against him.
I don't hold it against him. I'm guilty of venting to my friends about things, I'm sure.
But don't you think it was a little hypocritical of you though to say that?
No, I maintain my quiet hours. I stand
So
by.
the quiet hours thing
Mhm.
is where we're hanging.
That's
our hat
my
on.
defense. That's
Yeah.
my
You
defense.
know what? I agree.
I find that to be a really justified compromise.
Now, what are your thoughts about her being upset about you invading her Zen time? Did you see that was an issue? Because
Do you remember that?
she later
I
complained to me about
do.
that
Yeah, insane. I'm glad she said something.
you did that.
I'm glad she said, don't do this anymore.
Okay. So
See
then you
how
respected
compatible we
it.
actually are?
No, you guys really are.
Told ya.
Yeah. Because
Don't try to stir us.
I'm stirring.
All right.
I want to break up this friendship. 10 years later. Okay.
No, I'm glad she said something because like I had never felt as close to anyone I lived with other than like my sisters living with you.
Yeah.
So I think I felt like a real immediate sort of like access
Yes.
to being like, hey, I'm up, you know, and then her being like, hey,
Let's calm
I'm upside down. Yeah. You know, like I think it was good for me to be like, oh yeah, you're right. You are actually
Boundaries.
upside down right now. Like I should go out back up, you know, like into my room. It's 8:30 in the morning.
So really it was the time. No, not for that situation.
I think
That was a morning situation.
I think it's all mornings, and I think it's all about like
Yeah, but if it was in the afternoon and you were upside down, wouldn't you still be like, nah?
no,
This is
it
my
was
time.
I
different.
think I think I'd
'cause
be more.
By then, once we're
Oh.
smoking, it's open door policy.
Oh, okay.
By the time
And that
either of
comes
us-
out around noon, honey.
11, we were because what was really the tea is we would get high and then we would go across the street to
The cupcake place?
and get those scones.
Bacon cheddar.
And those fucking crazy cold brews.
And cold brew.
And we would smoke before that.
The poor man's 8-ball.
Yeah, literally the speedball of the pores.
All right. Well, let me think about who's. I guess they're getting
how old
along.
I was
This wasn't
20.
the plan. Well, I guess they've made up, folks. All right. So let me pick a side. Whose side am I on? I would say because of the time limits and time constraints, it's kind of like the jacuzzi on the roof. There's hours, you know?
Mine goes all night.
I should have brought my bathing suit.
We can go right now.
Let's just squid this.
What if we cut to us in the jacuzzi?
I'm going to go with parallel parking Maddie.
Woo!
Winner!
Also, I don't think you're a bull in a china shop.
Thank you.
What the hell, guys?
Also, I was going to say, I did teach you how to load the dishwasher.
Oh, also, that was another thing when I lived with Maddie. I got a picture text to my phone. You need to rinse these before you put them in the dishwasher.
Really?
Like, oh,
that doesn't sound like
God.
me, actually.
Yeah, it was.
To send the picture text, you need to rinse these?
You need to rinse these before you put them in the dishwasher. I was like, okay. But
Well,
Maddie
you
and I
do.
were very good roommates, too. We lived together for
fire
3
signs.
different years.
We're both fire signs.
Yeah.
You're an
Oh, yeah.
Aries.
I'm air, by the way.
Is Libra an air?
Not water.
Oh.
Okay.
Now, you didn't seem to agree with that when I said that. Why is that?
About what?
That we were good roommates.
Well, apparently I was texting you about the dishwasher, which I don't remember.
It happened. But other than that, you got any grievances from me during those times?
No.
I was the perfect little angel.
Perfect little Aries angel.
I did a little poll on my Instagram. Follow me at Look At Me, I'm Shannon D, where you can take the latest and greatest polls. This one is, if your roommate leaves dirty dishes, do you A, wash them, B, silently stew, C, give them shit for it, or D, I don't give a fuck, I leave dirty dishes too? What do you guys say?
Well, y'all know what I do.
Yeah.
Do I like my roommate or is it Maddie? Because those are very different reactions.
All right, we can say that it was Maddie.
I would wash her dishes all the time.
You'd wash them. Mads?
Oh, if it was Horace? Yeah.
Whoever.
I feel like we did each other's dishes.
All the time. We never really left them.
I say I would wash them.
Yeah.
Because when I lived with this girl, the one that it was kind of awkward after my first roommate, she was my second roommate in LA. We had a bad relationship. So we both would leave dirty dishes in the sink. And we both were kind of on the same page of like, you kind of just leave them in there a little bit and it's okay. It's not like it has to get done right away. And so they would all be there and like I would just wash them all. She would pick hers out and wash hers and leave mine there. And I'm like,
but you would wash hers?
I would wash all of hers, yeah.
Ooh.
And I was like, isn't that more work to like pick out the ones that are yours and try and remember which were yours? Because it's not like we had our own dishes. Like we
like who used what?
Oh, weird.
Exactly. We shared
Did
dishes.
you have a dishwasher?
No.
Mm.
And so she would pick her own out through the pile of them and wash her own and leave mine there.
Strange.
When I would wash all of ours.
If there's no dishwasher, people need to take a little more responsibility for their own dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But also, is it a repeat offender? Like if someone's repeatedly always leaving dirty dishes, then I will confront them eventually.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Like if they're not also reciprocating the washing for you.
Right. And
Agreed.
also, we would thank each other a lot for it.
Mm-hmm.
We would like acknowledge that the other did it.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
then,
key, actually. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was what everyone voted. A, wash them was 21%. B, silently stew, 30%. C, give them shit, 30%. Or D, I don't give a fuck, I leave dirty dishes too, 19%. So that was the least. But silently stew and give them shit were equal.
There's a fine line between silently stewing and exclaiming to people that they should rinse and repeat.
That's true. Well, also, because when you silently stew for too long, then boom, a bomb's going to go off and you're probably going to explode.
So real.
Yeah, if it was a one time, I would just wash them. But I do think if it was constantly and they were never reciprocating, I would be like,
for sure.
Hey,
excuse me.
Send a little text message. All right.
I'm actually proud of myself for doing that because I don't usually exclaim.
I know. Well, we got some listener comments, some DMs. Someone said it depends on how much I like the roommate, and that's so real.
It's so real.
About the dishes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true.
Don't
That's
like
why I asked.
them?
Yeah. If I don't like you, I'm not lifting a motherfucking centimeter of my finger for you.
No.
Not one.
Unless they are doing yours, though. But I guess that honestly, though, that's how that girl felt. My former roommate.
Did you guys not like each other?
Yeah, we liked each other at first, then we had like a falling out. That's obviously where she was coming from. She was like, "Oh, we don't like each other, so I'm not going to do her dishes." But I still did hers. I'm pretty sure. So I was like, honestly, it's more annoying for me to go through them and pick them out.
It's more mental.
I don't know what I used and what I didn't.
Yeah,
it seemed like an extra step just to spite me.
For sure.
If it was as an adult now and I had a roommate, my rule would be everyone, like, do not leave anything in the sink.
Mm-hmm.
Do it immediately.
Yeah.
Is that like really controlling?
Well, this is why there's like an age limit on roommates. I don't think you should really, obviously there's financial reasons why, but like, unless you like have kept a roommate for a very long time, moving in with like someone like you or me, it's like moving in with like an old cat.
Yeah,
You're not
stuck
gonna
in
change.
their ways.
No, like,
everyone has their ways.
And especially after having lived alone, I'm like,
it's hard to go back.
I don't ever want to do it.
I do think if you have a dishwasher, I think that rule is definitely can be put into place because then you just rinse it and put it right into the dishwasher. But I definitely let pots and pans soak a little bit.
I have 2 pots in there right now.
Like pots and pans for me, I just sometimes can't get to right away.
It's an end of the night thing for me.
Yeah. Someone else says, if it's my housemate who washes all of mine sometimes, then I do his. If it's someone who never helps me out, then I'm not touching them. And then someone else says, disgusting. That was top least favorite thing when I had roommates. My husband knows, and he cleans 90% of the dishes in this house. Pretty nice.
90%.
I know.
Damn.
She got that boy on lock. And then someone else said, option E, pee on them. Did you guys, do you know this story?
Is that in a movie?
Confession time. So when I used to live with the girl that I didn't like, we only had one
No, she didn't.
bathroom. And
I need to see this through the end.
I always had to pee multiple times before going to sleep because I have fear that I'm going to have to pee in the middle of the night and wake me up. I don't know why that's a fear, but you know what I'm talking about. Mr. Pees all the time. Before I would go to bed, she would be in the bathroom forever. And so I had to go to the bathroom. And so I would go into the kitchen and I would pee in the sink.
That's better than I thought it was going to be.
I thought you were going to pee on her dishes in spite of her.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh my God.
I'm not that
That's still gnarly, though.
I've peed everywhere in the world.
Have you peed in a kitchen sink that
Yeah.
you
Oh,
of
that
your
I
own
use?
kitchen?
No,
I would hop up onto it and I'd be have to squeeze it out really fast because I was like, oh my God, if she comes out, this is going to be so bad.
What a sight. What a sight of seeing Shannon.
Can you imagine?
I would think you were possessed. I would
Maybe.
think you were possessed by a demon if I came out of my fucking bedroom.
All right. Well, that's my confession. This is my confession. The next segment is Debate Club. So we are going to read a story and then these two are going to pick a side and duke it out. So this is from the subreddit Bad Roommates. My roommate wants me to use the microwave in a closet. I moved in with my roommate recently, and I've noticed that she's quite inconsiderate of other people's needs. It's a 2-bedroom apartment that her parents own. My roommate is very specific about how she wants the kitchen to be. She doesn't allow me to keep any of my daily use appliances, such as my blender, on the countertop. She's okay with having her appliances on the kitchen countertop, but anytime I place something that I use on it, she immediately removes it without any communication. She doesn't use a microwave or cook in general, so she wants us to keep this microwave inside a cupboard with pots and pans. She expects me to either take it out and lift it up onto the counter every single time I use it, or plug in an extension cord and plug it out when I'm done. Please note that this cupboard shelf is literally on the ground level and doesn't even have enough ventilation to use safely. I have back problems, so after tolerating this for 3 weeks, I told her that I'm finding it really tedious to have to do this, and it would be much more convenient to have it on one of the countertops. She refused. She said she's not going to let me have it on that space. I asked her for alternative options, and she suggested that we move the microwave to a closet where we store cleaning supplies, coats, and other miscellaneous stuff. It's not even in the kitchen. This closet does not have an electrical outlet, so obviously I would have to repeat the same shit of pulling out an extension cord every damn time I use it. When I brought up that I have back pain, she gaslighted me by saying that there's no way I have pain while I'm bending down to microwave my food. She did not acknowledge it and just dismissed whatever I said by saying that she doesn't use the microwave, so she's not okay with it being on the countertop. I'm sick of this, and I think it's really unfair, and I would appreciate some advice, especially considering the power dynamic. So, we're going to do a little trivia question to see who is going to take whom's side. Here's the trivia question. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the way to buzz in is just slap. Yeah.
Okay.
So be prepared.
Okay.
I should have gotten you guys little bells or something. Okay. Who was Raven Simone formerly roommates with back in the Disney days? Horace.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yes! How did you know that?
I know everything.
I didn't even know. I literally had options for you guys. I didn't even need them.
I knew it.
Wow. Okay. Well, he is a big Raven fan.
And Lindsay.
And Lindsay. Okay. So pick a side.
Oh, good. I get the side of the normal person.
Okay. Well, explain who that might be.
The person who doesn't want to do manual labor every time she wants to have a fucking Pop-Tart.
All right. Take us away.
How fucking dare you?
Wait, so we are them now?
Yeah, you're transformed into them. No.
Oh, can you repeat the ages for me?
Oh, they didn't say.
Because this gives really, really young. It gives it gives 24 to 27.
Okay. Very specific.
Because it's giving, I had a roommate before this whose father is also wealthy. This is the first time that I've lived with anyone who is not like someone I can control with my money or who has an equal amount of money as me. I find it to be such a weird, controlling power dynamic. It was perfectly written. You want me to pay to live here, but then essentially extinguish any proof that I live here from like your world. And that is like so insane because if you want all of this, then like my rent should be $1, bitch. Like if you want me to pretend I don't live here, pay for that. And if your dad is that wealthy, then have him pay the whole rent.
Well, who said that the dad's wealthy?
Doesn't he like own the place? Wasn't that something?
Yeah, I mean, he owns it, but
so like,
I mean, I guess they have enough money where they own an apartment, but
right.
that they're letting. Honestly, I bet you the daughter doesn't even pay rent.
Right. And this is why I say I think she's young. Because I don't think that the girl understands the power of $1. Because like if she really understood what she was asking for and asking someone to pay to be like this like shadow figure, you know, who's like not seen, not heard, but like pays their rent every month on time, like, girl, you should be paying actually me for like these accommodations.
She should be paying you.
If you want me to like hide my shit and like, then great, take it out of my my rent should be lower. That's what I mean.
Oh,
like
what do you think about that, Mads?
I don't like being near microwaves. I don't like being around them because they put off a unhealthy radiation type energy.
I have heard that.
I remember this actually from living with you.
But microwaves are so convenient though. Like I don't like to use them much, but say I need to quickly heat up water or something or like popcorn.
Have you ever made stovetop popcorn?
No, it is really good. I'm
like going to the gym. I'm just eating like some cooked beef and sweet potatoes. Throw that shit in the microwave.
Oh yeah, to just heat it up.
Yeah.
And also, do we think that maybe it would be a little cheaper because the electric versus gas bill? Any thoughts there?
Do you think she's paying the bill?
No, she certainly is not.
I mean, this is pretty hard to be on this side.
Well, I also think for a point for the other girl is that I really do like things to be in a very specific place. And I like things to look aesthetically pleasing, especially ever since the pandemic. Max, my boyfriend, and I were basically living like college students until then. We got a pretty nice apartment. And then I was like, okay, if I'm going to be inside all the time, I need to be appreciating my space. So then that was when I was like, I'm decorating. And Max actually gets a lot of really, really annoying appliances. And he buys them, never uses them. And I'm always like, these need to go underneath the cabinets because it's really an eyesore. And when you have a cute little kitchen with cute little poster of a tomato hanging on your wall and nice little bell pepper ceramic for your spoons, I don't want a big honkin' quesadilla maker on my counter.
There's just only so much real estate in a kitchen on the counters, and you need it for prep if you're actually cooking. It sounds like the microwave hater. She never uses the kitchen. She doesn't cook. So she doesn't want it to be like a functional kitchen. And she should have put that like in the contract from day one.
And also, if it's not a space that you are in, why do you care? There's a difference between it being like aesthetically pleasing and it being like devoid of human life. The human experience is eat, shit, sleep. Where you eat, where you shit, where you sleep are all really important things. You can't pretend that you don't eat.
It also seems like she just thinks that she owns the place. Which, if this is a scenario where, you know...
Well, she does own the place.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, her parents do, but if it's like an apartment that your family has had for years, it would really feel difficult to like not see it as your home. And
which
so
means don't get a roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking that it was giving more like old cat energy, that these are her ways and she's not gonna budge on it.
Yeah, that's a good way.
But why wouldn't Microwave Lover just move out? Like, this sounds ridiculous.
Well, it's probably super nice. It's probably got a great charm to it, and it's like really well lived
why
in.
doesn't Microwave Lover just learn to love the stove?
That's true. I wonder why she needs to like always be using a microwave every single day.
Like, let's get this fire, air, wind. Let's get the elements working with us. Let's get out of this toxic radiation and into the elements.
Well, the other thing too is that she doesn't allow her to have her blender on the countertop either. So it's not just a microwave.
I think she needs to let go of the microwave and focus more on justice for blender.
Oh.
I also think blender is way easier to like.
You can stash it.
Yeah.
Because the microwave is really heavy.
Super heavy.
And so if you have a back issue, it is definitely going to be difficult to like lift with your knees constantly.
I think she's like going a little too hard for the microwave. Like, wouldn't you rather just flick the stove on at that point?
That's true.
If I have the energy to do it, I will always cook on a stovetop. But if I'm sleepy and I'm just reheating, I'm absolutely using that microwave. But it's also because it's right there.
Well, I also don't think that they're at the point, as you were saying, like, why didn't she move out? I just don't think that they're at the point where it's like, I need to move out because of this. It almost feels like, okay, I'm having this issue. I've like talked to her about it. I guess she's not doing anything, but like, what can I do now?
Right.
And then maybe the next step after she's going to take our advice is that maybe it's time to look for somewhere else. But it really is so hard to find a good place with affordable rent, and then moving fucking sucks.
And I also think I will say this, maybe I missed this. I don't know that I really heard Lover talk a bunch about like alternatives she's really offering other than like, I want to do it my way. They both want to do it their ways, and I don't know that either of them are like conceding to like, okay,
yeah, they haven't really attempted to compromise.
What do you guys think a good compromise would be then?
One of the appliances can live on the counter.
Like pick one.
Pick one.
Well, let's read the update, shall we? Because maybe that'll give us a little more info. After discussing with her via text, she told me that she's afraid of all the, quote, radiation in the air. She told me that she was going to get over it, though. I assumed this was her saying that she was okay with me putting it on the counter, but boy, was I wrong. A couple days later, the microwave is back in the cabinet. Apparently, she just, quote, allowed me to have it on the countertop for a week. She thought my back pain would magically disappear in a week's time. Please. I confronted her about this immediately, and her response was that she never agreed to having it on the countertop permanently. She's very rigid about the rules, and honestly, I'm so frustrated because she's probably going to act entitled in many different situations. I wish I could just move out, but I can't. I still have more than 6 months on the lease. I'm not allowed to sublet this place, and there's a housing crisis in my city. She's obviously aware of this and had the audacity to tell me that there's a lot of people who would be more than happy to live in this apartment. She asked me why it was, quote, such a big deal. I hate this power dynamic and the fact that she cunningly uses the housing crisis and her parents being the owner as leverage for acting this way. I've considered reaching out to her parents as they are the landlords on the lease, but I'm afraid that they might support her and potentially evict me. I'm a student and unfortunately don't have anywhere else to go if I decide to move out.
I mean, like, does it change anyone's stance if, like, the microwave is, like, crusty and old? Like, she bought it used off of Craigslist, and it's just, like,
and the
gross.
apartment
And
is,
it's
like,
super nice.
cute and, like, thinking like the old fashioned, you know, where it's like a teal refrigerator
like a
and like
smeg.
Yeah, like a smeg. Yeah, with like white,
And then it's
then
just
all of a
this,
sudden
like,
just
disgusting-
this clonker.
Mhm.
Honestly,
I would throw it out.
yeah,
Get an air
just throw
fryer.
it out. Oh, maybe that's a good solution.
Well, maybe she can buy a smeg.
Yeah, they could compromise and be like, okay, if it's an aesthetic thing, if
Yeah.
that's what's happening, well, apparently it's not. Apparently it's radiation. To me, it seems like it's both. Like, I don't know why. I think it's an aesthetic thing too.
Mhm. I do think it is.
But I don't think that air fryers do have radiation.
No, it's literally the microwaves
Yeah.
are.
So she
I don't know
should
if
say that.
radiation is radiation the word?
Well, I did look up microwave about radiation though. And according to the FDA, microwaves emit non-ionizing radiation, which do not have the same type of risks as X-rays or other ionizing radiation, which is harmful to the body. Microwave oven manufacturers are required to certify their products and meet safety performance standards created and enforced by the FDA to protect the public health.
I guess that makes sense. They wouldn't be putting, or would they?
Or would they?
Actually, air frying equipment is not known to cause cancer, but the process of air frying does result in the formation of certain compounds like acrylamide.
If you burn it.
But no radiation.
But like if we're talking about carcinogens.
But that's only
Yeah,
for the
but-
person eating it.
True.
Right.
Not others around. Because I definitely understand when people don't want other people like smoking in their
Secondhand
house,
smoking.
secondhand smoke, that can be dangerous. But according to the FDA, the radiation can't hurt us. And we do get x-rays as people get
We all have
x-rays.
cell
Yeah,
phones.
but
if
you
we're talking
wear that big vest.
rays.
That's
like,
why
at
you
this
wear
point,
that big vest.
We're rayed out. If we're afraid of rays, don't go outside.
We're rayed out.
We're
rayed
rayed
out.
out.
We're rayed
We got
out.
rays on these computers. We got rays on these microphones. We got we are
Yeah.
human beings living in the future.
We had a comment here. Someone says, where do you think the daughter got the radiation thing from? It's 100% her parents. And the OP replied, that's what I'm worried about. She said she knows a lot of people who are also afraid of microwave radiation. I can't believe this gal has a degree in science. Uh-oh. Throwing daggers. Someone else says that explains her shitty, it's all about me attitude. She knows her parents own it and is using that as leverage. Sounds like an annoying situation to be in, and I feel for you. We'll see what the parents/landlords say, but they'll probably only see their daughter's side. Not sure if you already tried, but maybe ask her to keep it on the countertop permanently, but unplugged when you're not using it. She sounds batshit crazy though, and probably just wants it all her way. So that's why to me, it does kind of sound like it's an aesthetics thing. Well, we do have one here, Maddie, that I think is going to back you up, honey. Rusty says you live with her in her home.
Right.
It's not a place the two of you chose together. It's her/her parents' place. So she's more than just a roommate, and you're more comparable to a tenant. Maybe I'm the asshole here, but that's how I treat my place. I rented it and fully furnished the house. The kitchen is fully stocked, and there's a space available for both roommates in multiple cupboards to store their food and anything else they need in the kitchen. I keep a couple small appliances on the counters that are available for everyone to use. Otherwise, I like the counters to be kept clean. I rented the rooms out as rooms with access to common spaces and tried to lead by example in terms of cleanliness and keeping things in order. Everything has its own place, certain aesthetics, things matching, bougie, if you will. But instead of your roommate being the issue here and you needing to change how she manages her home, maybe you need to respect that you two have different needs for a very important room/space and perhaps aren't meant to live together.
It's possible you're not recognizing her boundaries and instead seeing her as not recognizing your needs.
I mean, you are only getting one side.
Exactly. That's why we need the other side.
And
Right
I would
in.
love to see what the listing said.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
maybe
the apartment listing. Like maybe she was very clear of fully furnished, don't need any new, don't bring anything in.
Yeah.
Also, I would if I were microwave lover, I would take this as a a moment to expand myself. Why? I just don't understand why you're so attached to this microwave that you're crouching over in a closet to use it when you have a stove
On a daily basis too.
Yeah.
What are you making?
Open your horizons.
And if your back is so there's nothing that you're making that is oh no, this is definitely only microwavable. That you couldn't do it on a stove.
Yeah,
which
microwaves
came first?
didn't exist at one point.
Literally,
it's a microwave meal that you're doing every single day. That can't be healthy for you.
She's got those lean cuisines.
She's got those lean cuisines.
And she's like, I don't. And the other one, she doesn't even cook. And it's like, girl, you're poking 3 holes in some plastic and pressing TV dinner.
I mean, that actually makes sense. It's like she's cooking things that can only be cooked in a microwave
every single day.
And that's why I'm saying, enlighten yourself and grow. Why are you boxing yourself into this microwave?
Oh.
That's such a good point. Yeah, because the ones that I put underneath the counter of Max's are ones that we use when we're making waffles or quesadillas or things like that. The blender's always out there, the toaster is. And that's pretty much it, because those are the ones that we use on a daily basis or a weekly at least. The fact that you're using a microwave every damn day. I do understand back issues, that fucking sucks to have to then bend down and lift it up.
But that's also to Maddie's point. You would rather eat microwave dinners than do what's best for your back health. Which is change it up.
Mm-hmm. Switch it up.
She's Gollum style.
Literally.
Microwaving
on her lean
these
cuisine.
things.
Literally. Do you guys remember lean cuisines? I actually used to fucking love.
Oh, I loved that.
Poking the holes at the top of the plastic.
That was my shit when I was in high school.
Loved
Hot Pockets. I was just going to say that.
Yeah. Your mouth always has to be burnt no matter what.
Yes.
I was always
You're
a classic.
always
I
gonna
didn't
burn your
love
mouth.
the breakfast ones.
I liked the ham and cheese.
I didn't
Honestly,
like
maybe
those.
they didn't even really taste that good because we never really
Because we let our taste buds
we
feel.
never really tasted them.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just put them in for a little bit less time so they didn't
know.
get so hot?
The thing is, you have to open it up to let the air come out.
And I liked the crunchy ends too.
yeah.
So
well, and also the other thing too is that the cheese wouldn't melt if you didn't cook it.
Right,
Oh,
and
you would
my
get
God, remember it would
those
still be
cold.
cold?
Yes.
Yes, it
Cold
would still be cold
cubes.
inside if you didn't go all the way. So it was really a roll of that.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the time to let it cool.
No.
Well, I don't know whose side I'm on because I might have been swayed. Let's
I kind of have
see.
been too. I don't know. I think I would need more details up from Hater.
Haterade.
Yeah.
It seems like Microwave Lover has gone into this arrangement thinking that they were roommates, not that it was a tenant and that there was this
Correct.
power
Yeah.
dynamic. So it seems to me like she wasn't entering into this scenario like you're my landlord, because I know that most people don't usually like living with landlords because it can just become a situation where you almost feel like you're living with your boss or something.
Mhm.
I get it that it's her parents' place, but it should have then been explained during the interview process or something hey, this is my place, or I treat it at least like it's my home and I like things a certain way and we're going to have it furnished for you and I'll supply all of that, but you can't have your crusty, dusty microwave on the counter.
Right. That's a real conversation though.
Did they know each other?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so though.
The threat of there are so many people who would live in this apartment makes me think that they're not friends.
No. It definitely seems like she's holding something over her. Who do we think won the debate, you guys?
I think
right in.
I won the debate. I think Maddie's got
don't
the
know,
better
Matt.
person.
Maddie came in with a really good point at the end. Expand your horizons,
It's
she
true.
says.
I exclaimed.
I say I'm team you can exist without a fucking microwave. I do think your human body will be fine.
And possibly better.
Arguably.
I think the solution, because she's asking for advice, I would say, how can we figure out how to get a cuter appliance on the counter, like a Smeg air fryer that matches the aesthetic and no radiation? Because you're right, Microwave Lover is not coming to the table with any solutions herself. Oh, someone else had a good point too, with saying that it could be an electrical hazard to do the extension cord to the closet.
I just can't believe she's doing that.
That was never on the table. That was never on the table of being a good idea. None of us.
We were never fighting for that.
We were never fighting for that one, Lover.
Do you think that she should talk to the landlords though?
I don't think she should talk to the parents.
Spot.
Absolutely
because
not.
Because that would happen when Maddie and I lived together. I would like race past our landlord who was in the front. Her office was in the front and I wasn't on the lease. And I was always afraid. And she's the one who ended up telling us that the fucking cave dwellers from beneath us got us kicked out. These girls were really smelly, sweaty, Swedish.
They must have moved in after I was there because they hated you guys.
Were amphibians. They just were half water, half sweat, half woman.
Oh, why was it like that?
It was so dark and so dank. But I bring that up because interacting with them and interacting with Rose while not being on the lease was such a source of anxiety for me that talking to the hand that fed me.
Yes.
I had no power. I had nothing to bring to the table.
Okay.
So I would not blow up the spot if you don't have to.
Well, also this one time when I worked at a restaurant, the manager, her daughter and I were like arch nemesis. And so I could never really like go to the manager and complain because I'm complaining about her daughter. So it was a really tricky situation. In this situation, you're going and you're complaining about their daughter.
Exactly.
And parents, like, they're gonna mama bear, they're gonna papa bear.
So they like bought an apartment for her. They clearly like her to some extent.
Oh, yeah. So do you think that's what it is, that they bought the apartment for her? I was thinking like it was one that they kind of had and they rented out, but now she's of age to live there.
I can't get a gauge on there because she says I'm a student.
Oh.
So it sounds like she's writing it from their equal ages. It doesn't, I never got the sense of like.
No, that they're old. She's older.
She's older than me.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they bought her an apartment, which I know people did in college.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But I don't think that it's right to go into it as a tenant or as the owner's daughter and like just act like it's like you're the coach's kid and you're getting like preferential treatment when she's paying money to live there.
That's what my point was in the beginning.
Yeah, and exactly. It's like prorate it then.
Right. Every kid I knew in college whose parents bought them an apartment in the city we went to school in lived with someone where it was like all above board.
Oh.
Being like, hey, so-and-so's dad is like,
and we'll give you cheaper rent,
right?
Because you're my buddy,
and you have fucking equity.
But again, it sounds like they're not friends, though.
Right? But like, but Hader should have gone in with a friend.
Yeah, the owner's kid.
Like she should have moved in with someone she was like buddies with, and they'd be like, oh, we can trick this out together.
Yeah.
Or if you already fucking bought it, why are you making anyone pay rent?
Yeah. The owner's kid might not even have any friends because
she sounds like
she's All right, so what do we think? What are we? Are we on neither of their sides?
Well, I think at this point, like Microwave Lover just doesn't have anything to stand on.
Yeah,
she needs to accept the reality of the situation.
Right, she has to compromise first.
Okay, so you think she needs to come over a little bit?
I think she should focus on the blender.
Oh, and talk.
Let me keep my blender. You're making healthier things in a blender.
Yeah. But it sounds like the microwave is the issue because of the back problems and she uses it more. It's heavy. Why can't she just leave it in her room?
Like on a little table in her room. Yeah.
People do that.
All you have to do is plug it into a normal plug, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe she doesn't want that for her aesthetics of her room.
Oh,
the turntable.
I'm going with Hader. Even though I hate her, I'm going with Hader.
Wow.
I'm going with Hader. I vote Team Hader.
Yeah, maybe microwave hater.
That's where I've been from the jump, guys.
Wow.
See?
It settles.
Shit. All right. I think they both just need to compromise, maybe. Get down to exactly what is the problem. Because if it's the radiation, show her the FDA articles.
Yeah.
Show her the FDA TikTok I found.
But I think we solved it. Put it in your room.
Yeah, put it in your room.
You want it so badly, get yourself a little rack, create like a little pantry in your room.
Yeah. All right. Done.
Done.
Plus, hater ain't budging.
Hater's not budging.
There's
Hater
no
doesn't have to budge.
We hate her, but team hater.
Yes.
All right. So now we are going to do a little backseat driving. Beep, beep.
Shannon loves to backseat drive.
I am a big old backseat driver, okay? And we're going to give a little advice to a listener.
Wow.
Hi, Shannon. Thank you so much for letting me send in this question. I live in a house with 2 others, and the basement has a giant bedroom. And recently, the girl who lived down there moved out. She'd been living there for 5 years and made it super cutesy for herself with string lights and lots of furniture. Once she moved out and the basement room was empty, it looked like a dingy prison or serial killer secret lair. It was super difficult to find someone interested in renting the space, but I finally did, and it was like a friend of a friend situation. We'll call him Sam. Sam was super excited about the cheap rent, and I showed him the basement space. I told him I'm aware it looks so bad, but it has so much potential, and if he puts some time into it, it'll look great. So it's been a few months since he moved in, and there are a few issues. Sam is either at work, taking the world's longest shower, or in the living room. He doesn't just monopolize the living room during the day, but at night too. Sam never brought a bed to his bedroom. I think the first week he slept on the pull-out couch that was left there, and then he randomly decided to make the living room couch his bed. He gets back from work, starts his nightly TV in the living room, and sleeps there. This is an issue for me and Lily because I literally own the couch and it is lumping into the shape of his body in addition to whatever sleep sweat is getting on it. And Lily is frustrated because he's still sleeping when she makes breakfast in the morning and she feels like she has to tiptoe around him and be quiet while cooking. I don't wear pants to bed because I need my legs to feel free, and now I feel like I need to put on pants if I'm going to go pee or get water or whatever, and it's just a little bit of an inconvenience. We had a roommate meeting and politely told Sam that we wish he didn't spend so much time in the living room, especially on weekends, because we want to have alone time in the living room too, and it feels awkward to have to literally ask someone to leave versus the room just being available sometimes. And we didn't tell him this, but the whole living room was starting to smell like him. He doesn't necessarily smell bad, but if a whole room smells like you, that better be your own personal space. Sam said he won't sleep upstairs anymore, but he wants to keep on using the living room as a chill space since, quote, my room is so dingy and not comfortable. He said we can just ask him to move when we want to use the living room. This honestly pissed me off because I had showed and told him that the room is dingy until you put some love into it, and he had sounded excited about making it his own. But I brushed it off since at least he said he'll be sleeping downstairs. I got up at 2 a.m. to get water and he was sleeping on the couch. When I told him the next morning, he said, I didn't intentionally sleep on the couch. I forgot my phone charger upstairs and I went to get it at midnight. I must have fallen asleep while getting it. Okay, sure. And your bed pillow just happened to be there too? I've also recently heard the faint sound of an iPhone alarm going off at 5 a.m. and quiet footsteps towards the basement. This man really started setting his alarm to get downstairs before I wake up and see him. But if I was to ask if he's doing this, he'd make me feel crazy, like I'm making conspiracies. The other major frustration is how long he takes in the bathroom. We only have one bathroom, so I try to do super quick showers. Sam consistently takes 30+ minute showers, and we can hear him playing videos while he's in the bathroom, so clearly he's not trying to be fast about anything. One time I had a UTI, and I could not hold it in for longer, so I had to put a towel on the floor and pee into a cup in my bedroom. Not my proudest moment, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I told my coworker about the couch sleeping situation, and he said when he was in his early 20s, he'd always fall asleep with the TV on in the living room, and that me and Lily were being dramatic for caring about something like this. We signed up for someone to have the basement and share the rest of the space, and it feels like we literally rented out the living room. He lies so often and doesn't give straight answers to the point that I don't even feel like there's a point trying to communicate with him. Should we just suck it up until the end of the lease, or do you have suggestions to improve the situation? Or do you agree with my coworker and think we are just being dramatic to care about it as a whole? Thank you.
I would be petty and I would love to see the size of the couch and I would move it into one of the rooms.
Oh, move it into her own room.
Couch.
Yeah.
What, does this man own a bed yet?
Apparently not.
I
guess sounds like there's a pull-out couch down in the basement that was like left there. but that he just has never put a bed there. But why can't you sleep on the pull-out couch? I mean, pull-out
I thought the
couches
pull-out couch was
suck.
on in the living room. Geez, so he moved in without a bed.
Yeah.
I think he still does not have a bed.
Doesn't sound like it.
So I think they need to be like not even as nice to him as they've been. They're like, oh, we don't want you to spend as much time in the living room. Like, no, don't sleep on the couch.
Yeah,
Right.
It's not
can't
for
sleep
sleeping.
here.
Right.
And you need to get a bed. Like,
Right.
do you maybe they can be like, because Facebook Marketplace like has free shit,
Yeah.
like free
Mhm.
beds and stuff. I mean, mattresses can be like a little shady to get
It's
places,
not.
but there's definitely
You can
ones
figure
out
it out.
there that you
And I wonder if
could-
they could either raise his rent. Or,
yeah, you're taking up the whole fucking space.
Like if you're gonna pay for if you're gonna rent this fucking living room,
Mhm.
you're gonna pay me an extra $600 a month.
Yeah, that's the negotiation.
Yeah,
If you want to sleep on the couch, you're going to pay for 2 rooms.
yeah, yeah.
100%.
Because his solution of being like, well, just let me know when you need to use the space. So then
No.
you have to be like, hey, can I use the like
Can I
every
use the
time
living
you
room?
come home, you need to say,
Right.
can I use
And
the living
also,
room? Or
like-
just being in that space anyway all the time.
And how weird to be like, hey, so whenever you need it, like default to me.
Right.
It's like, who the fuck are you?
Who died and made you king?
Like, that's
Is
so
that the
weird.
expression?
Like, you're the new guy.
Yeah.
No, get the fuck out
That's
of
so
here.
true.
Like,
Going back to the last one, it's like, yeah, you do kind of pull rein when you're the seniority
yeah, like,
there.
why are you telling me that I have to tell you when I want to sit in my? I've lived here for 5 fucking years, and you want me to tell you when I want to sit on my couch that I own?
That's a great point.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
And it's making a body indent.
Ew.
And smell.
And is he even putting sheets on it? Is he drooling on the
Well,
pillows?
that's what she said. It's
It
like
smells like
sweat.
him.
Ew.
No.
No, I would have nipped that after the
100%.
first night. There
Yeah.
is
Wow.
no sleeping on this couch.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's one thing if you randomly pass out on a couch.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I guess
I
I
never
wouldn't nip it
have.
the first time
Not the
because I
first
would
time.
think that it was
But
just
definitely if
random.
it was going on for a week, I'd be like,
After
hey,
the
you
first
seem to be
week.
sleeping on the couch a lot. And then every time you get home from work, you're just on the couch.
Yeah, but I'm also like, this is where my Sag comes out, especially if we're not friends. I'm like, hey, buddy, you have a room.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to get it in front of this thing here. Like, this is
Is that
not
how
cool.
you'd start it though?
100%.
You would.
Knowing me, I would be like, hey, dude, okay, let me see if I'm gonna action.
Role play?
Yeah, call
Okay.
action on the scene.
And action.
Hey, so
Hey.
I feel like you've been sleeping on the couch a lot
Uh-huh.
in a way that is making the rest of us feel like you're kind of taking it over.
Oh,
And I
okay.
honestly, I don't love it.
Uh-huh.
And I just really would appreciate if you like spent more time in the room that you rent, because like this is communal space, but
Mhm.
now it feels like it's like becoming your space. And like sometimes I want to kick it out here too. And like I don't really feel that we should be like tiptoeing around the apartment because like you
Yeah.
didn't sleep in the room that you rent.
But it's like kind of dingy down there and a little cold. Like it's not very comfortable.
Oh, we'll help you. We'll help you decorate it.
Actually, I don't know you shit.
Oh, okay.
You signed up for this. So
I'll
look,
help you decorate.
You
it.
will? You'll help me?
I'll help you find a bed on Facebook Marketplace.
I don't know you shit.
Hey, I mean, it's so the couch is so comfy though, and I like to play video games. And I like to watch TV and just
Okay,
like pass
why don't
Yeah,
out.
but
buy
it's my
it,
couch.
and it's also like our space.
Yeah, but
and-
I rent the space too. Like
You-
it's yeah, I know you bought the couch, but it's also like this is like technically I'm paying for a third, so it's my living room as well.
but
Well, you could put a chair in the living room.
And
That
So
could
I'll
be
just sit on the
yours.
chair. So then you're not going to sit on the chair that I bring.
Nope. I'll sit on the couch.
Well,
The
that
thing about
doesn't
it
seem
is-
fair. So we're all just going to have all of our own couches.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But communal usage also factors in communal usage time. So yes, you sitting on the couch to play video games is totally fair game for you to for communal usage.
Yeah.
You sleeping on that couch, then going into what would then be anyone else's communal usage time, i.e., you're now extending into my usage of the kitchen. So you're now affecting my communal usage of other spaces because you're now using the couch in inappropriate ways when you should be taking this time into your room that you pay for.
Okay, but you're not using it at night when I'm sleeping on it. So
But
what
you
does
are
it matter?
in the morning. And so when I'm affecting
I
in the
don't
morning,
care if you're. I don't care if you're.
but I care.
But if you're making dinner like and using your microwave in the morning of the microwave breakfast in the morning, your hot pockets, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
But I care
Why?
because I don't like being around while they're sleeping. I want to come out into a clean,
But if I'm
quiet
the one
kitchen.
that's sleeping, why would it matter?
It could be
to
anyone.
Me?
It doesn't have to be you. I'm still uncomfortable with it. You have a room that you rented.
But if I'm saying you can make all the noise you want, it doesn't bother me.
I'm not asking for your permission on whether or not I'm going to use my kitchen the way I want to. I'm asking for you to sleep in the bed that you rented. You did not rent the living room. You rented the basement.
So I can only use it during what you guys are going to put hours on me
Normal
or
sleeping
something?
hours, the way that everyone else in the world does. Yes. I would like you to sleep in the bed that you rented. Did you bring a bed?
Okay, well, this is the real thing. There is a ghost down there. And I particularly don't want to be woken up by the old lady at the end of the bed.
You don't have a bed.
I put this on the Facebook listing. Comes with ghosts. Yeah. You're really good at advocating for his side.
Thank you. That is something I was thinking, though. Is it like scary down there? That's why he doesn't want to be down there.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to admit it.
And he doesn't want to, because he's a guy. He doesn't want to admit it in front of the girls.
Which means that the girl was like way more baller than he is because she thugged it out for 5 years and made friends with the ghosts.
True. Well, she had twinkle lights. That gets rid of all the ghosts.
That's true.
So true.
Why don't they do a little like seance or something like that to try and, if it is a ghost, get rid of it. Sage down there.
They need to sage that couch. It smells like him.
I do think though, like helping, like, okay, well maybe we can make it look, but that's like so much like labor for them to have to do. Or at least
like show him the picture of what it looked like before if he hasn't seen it yet.
Give a little.
She doesn't owe anyone the like
Pinterest board.
The time of like, here, I'll help you do it so that you don't sleep on my. No, fuck no. Go away.
Yeah, she doesn't owe it, but if that's their roommate for a year, like, do everything you can.
That's true. You have to like compromise. You can't just be like, I'm the dictator here and my way goes. You have to kind of like give in to them a little bit or try and compromise.
Yes.
I mean, if he's so dumb that he can't realize why it's a problem that he's doing that, then it sounds like he needs to be a little coddled. Like, okay, well, let's find you a bed.
Yeah. And maybe he needs like a TV down there to go and
That's what I was going to say to you.
Because if there's a pull-out couch, then you can be chilling on the couch there and watching TV or on your bed or whatever. Just it seems so crazy to never have a bed. Like, doesn't your back fucking hurt? Talk about back problems.
Right.
It's like it's like a rule. You have to have a bed. Like, what are you doing?
Nature.
Like, you're just floundering around?
I don't understand. And then the bathroom issue too. He's in the bathroom for like a half an hour.
I mean, is he in the shower for a half hour or is he in the bathroom for a half hour?
I mean, she said she could hear things being played, like videos.
I honestly don't have a problem with a 30-minute bathroom session at the end of the day.
Yeah, but
I think
then
that's like added on to like the rest of his presence.
Yeah.
If he was really nice.
She has to fucking pee. I mean, she should have peed in the sink, and not on a cup in her floor.
Real ones, no.
Obviously.
The fact that she had to like, fucking pee on her floor. I mean, in a cup with a towel underneath, like that. I mean, 3 people, 1 bathroom. That's pretty tough.
That is hard.
But what are you gonna do? Nothing you can do about that. I definitely don't agree with your coworker taking his side.
You're being dramatic. No, you're not.
And by the way, I followed up with her and I asked her how much longer would she have to. Because she said, should I just put up with it? It would be like 9 more months of her doing this. So that's a long time. If it was like 3 more months or something or 2, I'd be like, maybe just deal with it. But I definitely understand what you were saying earlier of like wanting to get up in the morning and have your space and stuff. And then you do feel like you have to be quiet because then it's just not in your nature to be like rude and just banging on.
He's disturbing the morning routine.
That's it.
That's what it all goes back to.
It goes back to that.
Even though it is technically the communal couch right now, there is something about it being like your couch, and he could be permanently ruining the couch.
Mm-hmm. I think she has grounds to say, I bought this couch. Yeah. You don't get to sleep on it.
Because you're making a literal lump in it. You're making it smell. And what if then, I mean, once you move out, it's still going to be my couch. Mm-hmm. So you're like renting the couch from me right now. And when you rent furniture or anything from somewhere, you're supposed to usually hand it back in good condition. He's not treating it with respect at all. Right. Get a fucking bed, kid. Don't you want to be comfy? You ever heard of it? A mattress? Sleep number? You could choose your number.
Whichever one you want. You have shit on your shoes, so don't put it.
Oh,
on
no.
the couch.
Wait, actual poop? Uh-oh, spaghetti.
Do you smell
Speaking of
anything?
couches and respecting them, Maddie's got poop on the
Maddie
bottom of her
always
shoe.
wears shoes in people's houses.
Well, that's an American thing. I took mine off and then I put mine back on
I am
for
not
the
in the
shower.
habit of taking them
I
off at
always-
the although I do at my place. But
I-
it's like when I'm dressed like
No.
out.
I do sometimes, because that's a rule in my house. I take them off when you go into my house. But a lot of times I do forget to do it in other people's because Americans just do it for some reason. Like we walk into people's
Mhm.
houses with our shoes on.
I often don't. I think it's so gross.
I've gotten better at it.
Because I think it's gross in my own place, so I don't know why I don't do it in anyone else's.
because you don't have respect for other people's things, like Couch Boy.
Shit.
But I do know my friends that are like
Literally.
specific about wanting their shoes off. Like I know you like.
I'm very
like it.
specific about it, but
Yeah,
then when
me
people don't
too.
do it, I don't insist. But I should.
If I'm having like a party or something or get together, I won't make people take them off
Yeah.
because I'm like, it's a gathering. Like I'm gonna clean up after, and everyone like
also,
has
like-
their fits. Like I don't want people walking around with their dogs out.
I also feel like I noticed that it didn't happen at their front door, and so by the time I saw
that's
her
a
in
little
here, I was like, it already
awkward.
happened.
Yeah.
That's
I mean-
And
contaminated
also
already.
you don't have carpet, so it's a little easier to clean. But then you'd have to like mop.
I have to clean this entire
Yeah.
apartment.
Oh. Well, I guess we better go then. He's got some cleaning to do. All right. So, any other advice, you guys?
No, stand up to this man. He is literally like, he's breadcrumbing you, listener. Like, he is literally saying, like, oh, well, like, it's just this. It's like, no, motherfucker, you're going to change immediately right now, or we're going to have some problem. Like, I'm going to move this couch. I'm going to, whatever it is, like, we're going to have an issue.
Yeah.
If you don't actually, like, buck the fuck up and, like, go to your room.
Go to your room.
Like,
Literally.
Because that's the other thing too is now he's being sneaky about it, and he's
Right.
putting an alarm on at 5 a.m. Honey, you're that obsessed with it that you are willing to wake up at 5 a.m. for this?
just about, like, being bad and, like, proving the point, being like, fuck you. I'm a
Mm.
boy. I can do whatever I want.
Well, when I told my mom this, she was like, "Oh, I feel bad." Like
no.
for some reason, she like felt bad for him when he was setting his alarm early. I'm like, no.
No. I'm telling you, as a boy, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you think he's like pulling that card
100%.
because he knows that like women aren't gonna stand up to him.
He does this shit with like his sisters and his mom, like blah blah blah. Like,
Mm.
shut the fuck up. Go downstairs. You signed up for
Go
this.
to your room.
And like they need to come up with like actual consequences of like, hey, if we catch you sleeping on the bed, on the
Mhm.
couch 2 more times,
You're out of
we
here.
are changing your lease.
Can they do that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Unless they were
But who's
subletting,
the-
but I don't think
who's
they
the
are.
lease
It sounds
under?
like I don't know.
I think they're all on the lease.
It seems like they're all on it because
equal
she said
roommates.
his lease or something.
I
Like,
wonder
really-
if the couch, if they gave him that couch and put it in the basement, would he sleep in the basement?
Right,
Yeah.
charge him for the couch.
And take it to the basement.
Maybe that's the solution. Maybe you sell him the
say
couch.
that. Be like, hey, we're willing to sell you the couch. Bring it down there, and then we'll just get a new one. Watch him start sleeping up
On
in the
the
living
new
room,
one.
still on the new one. I'm like, oh, this one's a lot nicer and
Right.
new.
Like,
Let me
sell
get
him the
my
couch.
stench on it.
Exactly.
This guy is so annoying.
He's really just shitty. Okay, so like, what is a real solution that doesn't
That's a good one.
sell on the couch?
Yeah.
you, the couch in the basement.
Get
Goodbye.
out of here.
I think the other solution is to be more direct, like Horace said, state the terms. Like 2 more times, 2 strikes, and you're out.
We have a
Well, that's the
problem.
other thing that sucks too is that they think that they're renting to someone who's gonna at night be down in the basement. So like she was saying, like being able to walk around a little bit more comfortably and not having to like tiptoe or what was she saying?
True, because
Like,
it is 2 girls, right? And he's
Yeah.
the guy.
yeah. So to then have to be like, oh my God. You just
Well,
feel like
maybe
you're
they
walking
can bring
into his
that.
bedroom.
Yeah, maybe they can bring that up a little more too. It's like, yeah, you're turning this into your bedroom.
Mhm.
And like at night, it's assumed that you're going to be in the basement and I'm going to walk to the restroom in my pajamas and I don't want you
Yeah.
to see me in my
I want to be
pajamas.
comfortable.
I think that's legit.
Yeah. I agree.
Maybe
You can't turn a
that.
common space into your bedroom because that's what he's doing.
Yeah, because what did they say to him? They just said, we don't want you spending so much time in the living room, especially on weekends, because we want to have alone time in the living room. And it feels awkward to have to ask you. And then we don't want him sleeping there for the previous reasons. And we didn't. She said, we didn't tell him this, but the whole room is starting to smell him. Yeah, I think maybe it's just like we didn't I guess we didn't lease the living room to you. We all have this split between us, and you're using it way more than the rest of us. So it's like you have half of the living room and we only have a quarter each, basically.
Yeah, I think that's like literally exactly it.
All right, well, there's some advice for you, honey.
Whoop, whoop.
Take what you will. Let us know what you do. I'm very curious.
Please give us an update.
Yeah, send in an update for us.
And just tell him, you don't sleep here.
Daddy's home, you know that daddy's home.
That's what he sings when he's coming home. He is. He's like the dad of the house.
He's
Just
like
comes home
the
taking
unwanted
over.
older brother.
The what?
He's like the unwanted older brother who went to boarding school and then got kicked out.
Yes. Who's like 26 and still living at home playing video games. Ma, the meatloaf.
Joey's home, you know.
All right. Well, that's the episode. Thank you guys so much for being on the very first episode of Z is for Drama. Please join me next week. Episodes out every Tuesday, honey. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shan. Love you.
She
Love you
tried to
guys.
stir us up, but
I tried to
couldn't.
break them apart.
That got hurt.
Look at us.
That like got me in my feelings, to be honest with you. I was like, oh.
I know. We really haven't like looked back on that
No.
era.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And just remember, you can't spell drama without Z.
Good job, you guys.
Good job, you.